Hi guys, and welcome back to the Food Freedom with
Becca?
and Abby.
That was more of a question than a. Yeah.
Anyway, welcome back, guys, to another podcast. So yeah, how's your week been, Becca?
It has been good. I think it's been just over a week since we filmed an episode, so there's quite a lot that's gone on. I went to Disney.
Yeah.
That was amazing, but very tiring. Um, and then this weekend I went to visit my boyfriend's brother and his girlfriend, and we went to a gig and stuff. So lots going on, but I love this time of year because there's lots going on.
Yeah, me
How's
too.
your week been?
It has been interesting. And so I'm trying to think the last time we filmed one, and I can't think what happened. I went go-kart racing. That was really
Yeah.
fun. Um, I've done things with family. I went for a meal out with my friend, which was really nice because I haven't done that in a
Nice.
while. And it's just been very busy. Lots of uni work.
That's fun.
Not fun this time of year.
No, that's quite a lot to balance all at once.
But yes, so we will start off with our three positives as we always do. And we recommend you all to do this as well because it helps you so much and just positivity,
Positive mental attitude.
positive mental attitude. So, do you want to start us off?
Yes. So I went to Disney.
Mhm.
Biggest
Big
positive
positive.
ever. Um, I went to a gig with, as I said, my boyfriend and his brother and stuff, and it was a band that I'd not actually listened to before I went, and they were actually really, really good, and I really enjoyed it. So that was definitely a positive. And the third one would be I've been listening to my body a lot the last week, which I'm normally crap at. So I'm quite proud of myself for doing that.
Hey, well done.
What are yours?
So mine would be, I think, spending a bit more time for myself
Mhm.
because I find that really hard to do and actually doing things that I actively enjoy. So that'd be one of them. I think another one is that I don't know if I said this, but I started a new plan thing.
I think you briefly mentioned it.
Yeah. So I've started a new plan, fitness plan, I guess you say. And I'm sticking to it, which is really exciting. I know it's early days, but sticking to it, getting those habits in. And my third one would be that I reached my step goal last week.
Well
My
done.
steps have been shocking ever since I changed jobs. And it's been really hard for me to actively get them, whereas I used to be in a reactive job. So yes, I was very proud that I hit my step goal last week.
I think people like forget that when people compare themselves to other people and they're like, oh, this person hit so many more steps than me. You literally forget that your job has such an impact on how many steps you're doing. Like
Yeah.
if you're a waitress, you smash your steps, but if you have like a desk job and you're in meetings all day, you
Mm,
physically have to make time.
yeah. Like it's ridiculous. Like I used to hit like 10, 11K steps daily just because of like my job and I continuously be moving. I wouldn't really go on extra walks or anything like actively, I always park further away from stuff. But yeah, and then I changed jobs and I was hitting like 4K steps a day. Absolutely ridiculous. And I was like, oh my God.
I mean, 4K is more than some people, so it's not terrible.
True, but for me,
Yeah, compared
not
to what they
yeah,
used to.
compared to what I was doing. But yeah, so that was fun.
Well, so on today's episode, we figured as it's December, we should discuss Christmas. I say as it's December, I know it's November and you just gave me a
No,
week,
when this is
but
going up,
it
it would be
will
the
be
1st of
December.
December.
Exactly. It's like I planned this. It will be December. And we both know for a fact that navigating Christmas and the holidays and social events and all the food, dealing with the guilt of eating extra food at Christmas, knowing what you should and shouldn't eat if you're trying to lose weight over Christmas, all of those things can be really, really difficult to, as I say, navigate. So we wanted to do an episode where we just discuss all those things, give our advice, our tips, things that we've been through and learnt from. Um,
Mhm.
and just help you feel better going into December and going into these social events. and know that it's all going to be okay.
Exactly. And also, for all of those of you that do not have an advent calendar yet, go and pick one up.
I don't have an advent calendar yet. I was kind of debating
That's-
getting one or not this year. Like, I know, not because I feel guilty having it. Like, I used to really struggle with advent calendars because it's extra
Yeah, same.
calories and stuff, but not because of that, just because the ones I like are really expensive and you get a chocolate a day. And to be honest, some days I forget now I'm an adult and I hate to admit it, but I'm an adult now and it's not as exciting.
See, this is going to sound really extra, but I love my coffee.
Have you got a coffee calendar?
I've got an espresso advent calendar, and every day it gives you a pod. So I'm sharing it with my mum.
Oh,
We're gonna open one each because it was more expensive than like your average advent calendar. But yeah, so I'm really excited.
cool. But that's a really good topic to start with, actually. So, as I just said, like when I was going through the strictest calorie tracking part of my life, wanting to lose all the weight in the world, I got bought what was it, a Malteser truffle calendar because I love Maltesers. They're like my favorite chocolate. And I had like the first few days and didn't even think about it. And then I messaged my coach at the time and was like, Advent chocolate, do we track that? Do we not track that? And she was like, yeah, definitely track it because it's still something that you're eating. And I made the mistake of looking on my Fitness Pal and like one chocolate was like 100 calories. And I was like, oh my God, like I can't do this. I can't go over my calories 100 every day. I'm going to get fat. Realistically, if you are losing weight and you're in a calorie deficit, you will be under by like 500 calories a day. So even if every day in December you go over by 100, you're still 400 calories in a deficit every single day. Like Advent chocolates are not going to do anything to your body. Like a small chocolate gets burnt straight away because it's obviously carbs and it just peaks your blood sugar. Your body uses it and it's gone. Like it is not going to be the cause of weight gain. I can promise you that.
If anything, I would go on the spectrum of being actually, it's almost good for you.
Yeah.
Because so many people, I mean, good mentally because it's chocolate.
Yeah.
Unless you don't like chocolate.
And then you're weird.
Exactly. But because so many people struggle and they think that they can't have chocolate, actually, an advent calendar is a very good thing to learn to teach people that actually you can have a small amount of chocolate every day.
And nothing
And
bad
then
happens.
and then probably come Christmas, because you haven't restricted yourself from having chocolate, you're not gonna then go and eat the whole tub of celebrations. Which you can also do.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just if you want an advent calendar, please have one and please do not track it. Like
Yeah, no.
even if you've got
it.
the most fanciest advent calendar with fancy chocolate in it, or apparently you can get pork scratching advent calendars and stuff, even if it's those, do not track them. Like just don't. I'm not going to say it's Christmas because that phrase bugs me and I will get onto that. But just don't track it. You are
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a month of a year, and realistically it's not going to make that much difference. Your body will probably end up getting used to it in a few weeks and it'll probably just adjust.
Yeah.
And yeah, just enjoy it because it's festive, it's a countdown to Christmas. Just enjoy it.
So that leads on to my second point, actually. The whole like, oh, sod it, it's Christmas, sod it, it's as much as part of my brain is like, yes, it's Christmas, and I do want everybody to enjoy Christmas because Christmas is the best and it's time with your family. There is also an element of it's also normal days through the month. Like, yes, there are more social occasions. I don't know. I fight with myself over this because, like, you want to enjoy it, but at the same time, you can still live a healthy lifestyle through it if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. And I think this is one of the things that I am going to admit I am struggling with at the moment. So we'll probably go on to previous experiences later, but my previous experiences have not been great around Christmas. And this is the first year that I'm like, I am going to try and not just use the F it all. It's December. I've got events every weekend. I'm going out, you know, who cares about the rest of the week because I've already messed it up. Because in my head, I am still very much all or nothing. And I'm trying to fix it, but it's very hard.
It is
But
hard.
yeah, so I am struggling with that. But I am determined that Monday through Friday, I can still be good or good, stick to plan. And then the weekends is just enjoying the memories, have a bit of fun, be festive.
Yeah. But I think the main reason for it is that everyone sees January as the month where you get on it and you lose weight and you come up with all these crazy resolutions. And because you know January is coming, you do this on it. It's December because you know in January you're going to start being good. And I said quotes for anyone that can't see my face. But like people just underestimate how many days there are in a year and how like you said, even if it's a Monday to Friday thing, like that's extra days where you are living a healthier life and getting a healthier mentality, healthier habits, all of those things. Just because it's Christmas doesn't mean that you can't still get your steps in, or you can't go to the gym, or you can't like find a way around things. Like, yes, you should definitely go for all the social events that you're invited to because it's nice and it cheers everyone up when it's cold and it's dreary and all of those things, and everyone's excited because you're going to be off work for a few weeks or a week or however long you get. But you can still do the healthy habits.
Yeah.
And I think people do just forget that because it's a different time of year.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? It's almost like people just go, what the heck? It is what it is. I know that come January, there'll be less events, less busy things going on. And that is the time to, in quotation marks, get fit.
Yeah.
And I think it's true. And like, to be fair, I don't think social media helps with that because like I've already seen, you know, TikToks and reels and stuff going in December. The gyms are empty and all this stuff, and come January they're absolutely packed.
Yeah.
Which sadly, yes, is true, but it doesn't have to be. You can go to the gym in December and it's quiet and it's lovely.
And if you are wanting to change your lifestyle, we've said this on a different podcast about like the Monday to starting again Monday thing. If you're serious about being healthier and you're serious about feeling good in yourself, why are you waiting till January? Like, do the habits now.
Yeah.
And
You can make
you'll learn that you can you will learn that you can still do the socializing and the healthy habits, and then you're in a better place for next year than saying to yourself, it's Christmas, I'm going to put on weight anyway, I might as well not go to the gym, I might as well eat a box of chocolates every night and all of these things.
Yeah. And it's true, like you can still make so much progress in this month. Like, even if it's up until say like the 20th of December, you've lost some weight, even just, and then you know that in those 10 days between then and January or New Year, yes, okay, you may put on a pound, but actually that's a pound as opposed to half a stone.
Yeah. And like I've said to clients before who struggle with like binge eating and stuff that even if you make it through December without gaining weight, or like, okay, you haven't lost weight, but you've stayed the same, that's still an achievement because there's a lot of things going on. So if you can maintain your weight, that in itself is brilliant. Like, I always think you shouldn't go into December with the expectation of you're going to keep losing weight, because realistically, you're not. Like, not because you're physically putting on weight, because there's a difference between actually putting on fat and just water weight and extra salt from the foods that you're eating out and stress of Christmas and all of those things that make you hold on to water that then comes off. You're not putting on actual fat from these events.
Yeah, exactly. And I think as well, because a lot more people tend to drink alcohol, I think that doesn't necessarily help as well.
Yeah.
Because that impacts your weight. However, I would say a good tip, if you are looking to drink and you still want to kind of keep to plan a bit more, Prosecco is really low in calories.
Yeah.
Which will help you. And then like any like spirit with like diet lemonade or slimline tonic.
Anything that's not sugary.
Yeah.
or like beer is always a better choice. But again, there's nothing wrong with cocktails and beers and stuff.
No.
Another tip I would say with drinking is just make sure that you eat enough beforehand.
Mm.
Because if you're satisfied and you're not got an empty tummy, you're less likely to drink a few drinks and think, right, I'm going to go to McDonald's now. I'm going to go and get some cheesy chips from the chip van and all of those things, because you'll have food in your body. I'm not saying it won't happen, because sometimes you have a few drinks, you want cheesy chips.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know.
It happens. But yeah, no, I think it's very true. And it is, everyone always worries about, yeah, just how calorific Christmas is. And like Christmas itself as well, on Christmas Day, they're like, oh, it's so, I'm so bad and all this stuff. I eat so much. And actually, realistically, I mean, obviously, it depends what your Christmas routines are. But like in my family, we don't really have breakfast. We
Yeah.
tend to just have a Christmas dinner, and half the time, most of it's just veg and meat and potatoes. Yes,
Roasts aren't that bad for you at all.
no, they're not. And then like you stuff yourself silly, which is not always the best, but you do it.
Mhm.
And then you have a few chocolates, and then
But
a
when
few like
you
nibbles later.
but when you realistically think about Christmas, say you did something Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, Boxing Day, and maybe one other day, that's 4 days out of a year. Like 4 days isn't going to ruin the whole year that you've just spent feeling healthier and happier and all of those things. And even if, like you say, in those 4 days, realistically, how many of those meals are, again, quote, bad meals? They're not.
Yeah, exactly. I think I did one of my Instagram posts on it. Hit us up at Food Freedom Rebecca.
That's it, Olivia.
Little plug. Yeah, I think I did a post on it, and it was something like such a tiny amount, even if you went out for like 1 or 2 meals a week.
Mhm.
The overall of Christmas or December, sorry, it was so minute compared to the rest of it. And like if you stuck to even like 2, 3 meals a day that are more healthier, like it can make so much difference.
Yeah. And
It's
I'm not
just
like, I also find, I don't know about you, but I never used to be a breakfast person. Like I've always eaten breakfast, but I've never really enjoyed breakfast. Like I said before, I used to have Nutella on toast every day because I didn't like cereals and all of that stuff. But I genuinely find that if I have a really nutritious and like healthy breakfast, I'm less likely to eat all of the crap the rest of the day. Because like the other day I really wanted Nutella on toast for breakfast, so I had it, and I just craved food. Like an hour later I was still hungry because it didn't satisfy my belly, because there weren't really any protein in it and there wasn't really any nutrients. Like there's nothing wrong with Nutella on toast for breakfast, but realistically it doesn't satisfy me. And then I go and have more food, which is fine every now and then, but like I don't know how I used to do that every day and feel energized and feel good. Like it just gives me a headache and makes my tummy hurt now if I have it for breakfast. Like I can have it as a snack. But
yeah, I'm with you on that, because I didn't eat breakfast for so long. And yeah, to be fair, like if any of you do not eat breakfast at the moment, I would definitely recommend you start eating it. It doesn't have to be a full like meal, but even if it's just a snack, a piece of fruit, a biscuit, start eating breakfast or just something in the morning, because it will help you so much.
And the whole I'm not hungry in the mornings is rubbish. You are hungry, but your body doesn't want to tell you you're hungry because it knows you're not going to give it food. And everyone says to me, oh, but if I have breakfast, then I start getting hungrier in the day. That's because your metabolism kicks in, and that's what's supposed to happen. Your body is meant to get hungry. That's not a bad thing.
Yeah, no, definitely not. I always like to start. We've tangent here, but I'm just gonna say it anyway. I I always start my day off with something sweet, because it curbs that craving for the rest of the day, whether like it is chocolate or peanut butter or just something sweet.
So
And
I'm
it
the
just
opposite. I end my day with something sweet.
fair. I also do, to be fair, sometimes, but I don't know, just in the morning it just hits you right.
Yeah. But yeah, back to the point. Having a good breakfast or whatever over Christmas makes a difference, because at least like, so this year going into Christmas, again, we're going off on different topics here, there, and everywhere. So I hope you're all following. But like my advice for Christmas this year, what I'm going to do personally is I will go into Christmas knowing that I'm going to eat a bit more food than I would normally, have a few more chocolates than I would normally, all of those things. But I am purposely going to stick to the healthy habits I've created this year. So I'm going to make sure that I have 2 pieces of fruit with my breakfast. I'm going to make sure that I have 2 liters of water every day. I'm going to make sure that I try and get some steps in when I can. I don't think Christmas Day I will be doing steps. I'm not going to be going for a walk, but my nephew's there, so I'm going to be playing with him, which is going to be doing stuff like, and that's okay. And I'm going to prioritize my sleep still because I need sleep. And I know that by doing those things, I will feel better the next day, knowing that, okay, I had a big roast dinner and I've had 2 desserts and some chocolates and whatever. I'll know that I still got the nutrients I needed from my meals those days.
Yeah. And I think it is so important. I think similar to that, like everyone always says that they feel very sluggish after Christmas. And it's because they haven't stuck to the same habits that they have.
You're eating different foods. Like if you think of your body as a machine, if that machine is used to, I'm trying to make an analogy as I go along. I don't know how well this is going to work. But if you have a machine and say, there we go, say you've got a smoothie maker, yeah, and in it every day you're putting in fruit, that smoothie maker knows exactly how to blend that fruit, exactly how to make it into a nice smooth pulse. If you suddenly start throwing in chocolate bars and crisps and cakes and starchy things like potatoes and things, which aren't bad, but for the analogy, that blender tries to blend it, really going to struggle, and you're going to end up with a lot of sludge out the bottom. That is all you're doing to your body at Christmas. You're putting different things in it. So you're going to feel sluggish because it's not used to digesting those things.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean you can have them, but putting a bit of fruit in with it helps it to come out better the other end.
And it's the same the other way as well. If you, going back to like advent calendars, if you consistently put a piece of chocolate in every day, your body is used to that. So then when you have it on Christmas Day or just a little bit more, it's going to be used to it.
Well, even with my analogy, if you put a bit of chocolate into a smoothie maker, it wouldn't make a difference. If you put a whole bar in, it would.
Exactly. It's little and often. Little and often. Definitely, for sure.
Yes. So shall we go to some previous bad experiences of Christmas?
Yes.
I'll let you start.
Okay. So I don't know where to start. I'm going to go for my one last year because as I've said, my journey with binge eating is still fairly fresh. And last year, I really did suffer with it. So I was very much in the height of it, I think, around Christmas. And I remember one specific event where it's like a family tradition that we all go Christmas shopping every year. And I had binged the night before, and I felt so guilty that I had done it, that I was in the worst mood ever. I hadn't eaten breakfast. I wouldn't let myself eat lunch because I just was consumed with guilt. And I was so just moody, I would say. And it just rubbed off on everyone. And long story short, the day was awful. And I ended up having a breakdown and all this stuff. And it was just terrible. And yeah, it was all just because I kept binge eating. So that's not fun. And then,
is there a part of you that's worried that might happen this year?
yes and no. Like, I am in a much better place now than I was. And I think one of my triggers as well is all the Christmas, like, you know, when Christmas comes and they bring out all like the sandwiches and
the really nice flavored food.
yeah. And I love like stuffing and turkey and all that, and like the sandwiches that they bring out and all this stuff. And that is mostly what I will end up binging, or I did last year. And yeah, there is a part of me that is worried. My mindset is different, and it's just making sure that I keep a bit more of a level head.
Yeah.
Plan things out, which is good in some ways, but also hard because around Christmas things come up that you can't control.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that is very much deep rooted in my memory that I just don't want to happen this year, because Christmas is meant to be fun and you're meant to fill it with good memories, and it just is a bad memory that's stuck in my head.
Aww.
And it's just because I didn't allow myself to have an advent calendar.
But that's the thing, and that you've actually just made me think of something there, is that like companies want to make money, and they know that every year at Christmas, if they bring out things that they don't sell the rest of the year, we will go crazy for it and buy loads of it, because we know we can only get it that time of year. And that's exactly what we do to our bodies when we don't let them have things for a certain amount of times. As soon as you see it, that's all you want, because you think you can't have it again. And if these companies made nice turkey sandwiches the whole year through, Christmas would be such an easier time for everybody, because you wouldn't be thinking, oh, I can't get this later, I'm going to stock up on them, and end up with like my mum, bless her, she gets, the tubs of chocolate.
Yeah.
Every Christmas she gets one of each of the different varieties, and she takes them out and she mixes them all together and then puts them on a bowl on the side so you can have like a mix. Like, so many chocolates, and you can buy but again, that's the thing, you can't buy those tins until Christmas. Like, I know you can buy heroes and stuff separately, but those specific tins you can't. So you buy them all, and then everyone's stuffing their faces with chocolates and forgetting that you can have a couple of chocolates and they're still going to be there the next day, and they will last into January and they will last into February. Like, you don't have to eat everything then and there.
Yeah.
But I understand it's hard when it's things that, one, have a quick sell by date because you want to use them and not waste them, and two, things that you can't get the rest of the year round. Like, but yeah, it's a mindset thing, isn't it? And it bugs me. Like, it's really bugged me now thinking about how companies only bring stuff out in December because it will make them money.
Yeah. And I think it links into it though, because then you've restricted yourself. You're like, because you got that in your mindset of, in January I'm going to go cold turkey, pun intended, and I'm going to eat healthily, I'm going to cut everything out. You then, well, in my case, I want everything that I deem unhealthy out of the house,
out of the cupboards,
because if it's in there, I'm going to be tempted by it. So all those chocolates, all those crisps, all those whatever you may deem unhealthy, you want gone. So you eat it all.
Yeah. And I've had so many clients sign up with me and start in January and been like, I've been awful this week. There's still Christmas stuff in the cupboards and I'm trying to finish it so I can get started. And that, as again, food is food. Like, there is nutrients in every food. You don't have to rush to eat it because it's a bad Christmas food. Like, even things like nuts, like, I know that's a popular thing at Christmas, like bowls of nuts on the side. Yes, nuts have a lot of calories to them because they are a fat, and fats have more calories per gram, but they're really good for your body. So say you have got like a bag of nuts left, have some each day. Like, they don't go off. Or I don't know, what else do people have at Christmas? Name something.
I always remember having like the tubs of like Twiglets and mini cheddars and
like
that you can't get year
having
round.
Twiglets, again, you can't have them year round, like you say. So we go all year thinking, oh, at Christmas I'm going to have them, and then we eat loads. But realistically, that tub will have a good sell by date on it. It's no different from eating a packet of crisps if you get a decent serving size. So if you still have it in your cupboards as January, just treat them as a packet of crisps. Like, it's just a mindset thing. It's just everyone's got in their head, it's Christmas food, it's only for Christmas. January, I have to eat nutritiously and nothing that's got sugar in it, nothing that's got flavor, and nothing that makes me happy. And then we're miserable all of January because it's dark, it's cold, we've got no money, and we're eating lettuce.
Yeah. And I think it's just such a mind trip. And especially like the whole guilt thing as well. That was my main thing last year. As I said, it was just the guilt that would literally like eat me inside. And it's such like a bad thing, because then you don't eat, and then
it's a cycle.
It's just a cycle. And yeah, and if you do end up binging or overeating or whatever and you feel guilty, please just don't. Just carry on with how you would normally eat, because it will help you so much in the long term. It's gone, you can't change it. So just move on, just start the next day fresh.
And the other thing I think of at like Christmas is predominantly for kids. Like, I know obviously as adults, okay, just bear with me. I love Christmas and I'm not saying it's not for us as well. But the whole like Santa thing and the whole build up of all these special things is always more enjoyable when there's kids there. That's what I meant. Not that it is just for kids, because I love Christmas. But if you look at a kid, they don't sit there at the Christmas dinner table, stuffing their face thinking, oh, in January, I'm going to burn this off. Like, they just enjoy it. They love being with their family. They love the magic of Santa. They love everyone being around the table and doing things that you don't do the rest of the year, like going to pantomimes or going to parties and dancing with their friends. Like, that is what Christmas is about. It's not about what's coming in January. It's not about the fact the year's nearly over and you've not got to the weight you want to be, so sod it, because that will be next year's problem. They just enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly. And I wish I had that mindset back.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, it would be so much easier. But it's true. They don't look at it as it's a food fest.
No.
They look at it that it's an exciting time, it's magical. They get a holiday, they get a break, which actually we could probably all take
And that
note
is
on.
exactly, like, we're humans. Christmas is our break. Okay, if you have to work through Christmas, I'm really sorry and I feel really sorry for you. But for the majority of us, we don't work. It's time off. Your body needs to relax. It needs to chill out. It needs to sit back and just watch what's going on. You might be someone that works all the time and never get time with your kids. So it's time to sit and play with them and learn about them and like share experiences with them.
Yeah. And I think that's the thing, is that people forget that it's meant to be about memories, and all the events that go on, it should be about happy memories and enjoying it and spend time with your friends, your family, doing things you wouldn't necessarily do.
Yeah.
And just going and having a good time.
Like, if I think about Christmases when I was a kid, I I don't remember the food. Like, I remember playing card games with people or getting bought new games for Christmas, and then my dad would help me set them up and we'd play them all afternoon, or getting a pair of Heelys one year and then wearing them. My nan and granddad used to live like 5 minutes around the corner, so I'd put them on and like slowly try to wobble around to my nan and granddad's house without falling over. And that's what I remember, not the fact I'd stuffed my face full with cheese and biscuits. And which, again, cheese and biscuits are available all year round, like all year.
It is, however, I do always associate a good cheese board with Christmas.
But
I do think,
but that's like, people associate chocolate with weekends, but why can't you have them the rest?
true, but I do think they bring out more cheese types around Christmas.
Yeah,
You
because
always do see
companies
more of them
suck
in
and
the
they
weekend.
want money. I found a new ranting point, and it's
Anyway, rant about your previous experiences.
rant. How posh are we? Rant. Yeah, so Christmases were always great, and I've always loved Christmases. But again, that year when I was really trying to lose weight and I got really skinny and I had bad body dysmorphia and all of that, I was dreading Christmas because I was so used to tracking things. And there's a lot of pressure, I think, as well, when you're with like family at Christmas, because they're like, go on, have another one, or and they say the whole "it's Christmas, just have one" sort of thing, and then you end up having more than you would have necessarily had. And it really stressed me out, and I ended up really not enjoying my Christmas because in my head I wasn't physically tracking everything on an app, but in my head I knew what calories were in things. And I was sat there going, oh my god, oh my god. And I knew that the gym was shut for a week, so I couldn't go to the gym and exercise, and I was going to the gym like twice a day most days at that point. And I hated it. Like, I've never hated Christmas because I love Christmas, but I have no good memories from that Christmas because all I was thinking about was food and the fact I was going to get fat. And I didn't get fat at all. But that's what you think is going to happen. And then the good memories disappear and it's sad.
Mm. And I think it's true. I think once you learn that actually, you know, you can eat what you, or even if people do have, like they'll eat so much during that Christmas period, and then they say, oh, in January I'll start, and then like come next year and they do exactly the same thing. I think it's like the definition of insanity is like doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result.
Yep.
And it's true, like we all do it.
Nothing changes.
Yeah. So change what you're doing because it's not working.
Yep, definitely. And I've just thought of another bad Christmas experience.
Go for it.
The first year COVID happened,
Mm.
they decided like 2 weeks before Christmas that we couldn't have Christmas and all of that stuff. We were only allowed Christmas Day.
Yeah.
I was relieved because I knew that it meant that there would be less food. Like I was happy because I thought, right, I'll just have one day at my parents, have some food, and then that's it. But then that wasn't it because where we thought Christmas was going to happen, like we'd brought in quite a lot of chocolates and different like treat food and stuff. And because we couldn't go anywhere, we were sat at home with it all. And I was sat there and I binged on so many chocolates. And then I'd recently had a Fitbit. And I was also going through a phase where I was ridiculously obsessed with my steps. And I was sat there thinking, oh my God, like I've just eaten a whole thing of Ferrero Rocher and I've not done any steps. And I was literally standing in the living room whenever my partner went upstairs and like walking on the spot trying to get my steps up because I felt guilty for what I'd done. And that's not Christmas. That's not like, yes, it was Christmas and COVID were awful and I hate that happened. But I made it worse for myself.
Yeah. And I think that's true as well, is that you get all these selection packs around Christmas. And to be fair, if you actually look at the calories in it, so I think the Cadbury's one is like the smaller one, and they have like, I don't know, Freddos and Chomp or fudge or whatever. If you actually look at the calories, I think it's only like 300 or 400 calories in the pack.
Yeah.
And yet you will eat the entire thing, or some people eat the entire thing, which there's nothing wrong with, and then feel so guilty for it.
And then they'll think, oh, I ruined it anyway. Let me eat something else.
Exactly. And actually you haven't, because 300-400 calories realistically isn't that much. It's the same as like having, I can't even think, like a piece of cake.
Yeah. And like I said, we have worked so hard all year round. Your bodies are physically tired and drained. You need a break. And when your body is resting, it is needing energy. It needs energy to do all the things to help you relax, to help you feel good. So it itself sometimes asks for extra food because it's tired and because it's struggling and it needs energy.
Yeah.
So we should allow that.
Yeah. And like just to de-stress yourself as well. So like this sounds really bad, but I promise there's a point to it. To put it in perspective, the last 5-6 years, because I have been non-stop throughout the year, Christmas is like a week between like Christmas Eve and like New Year's, where I've always had like a week off, and it's a full week off. I don't do anything. I don't have anything planned. And every year I get ridiculously ill.
Yeah.
Because my body just goes, oh wait, we don't have to do anything. And it like completely shuts down.
Yeah.
And I'm ill so bad. And hopefully this year I'm not gonna be, because I'm pumping myself full of non-nutritious foods as well. So that is a plus.
It's a common thing. Like my brother's the same and I'm the same. Like if you don't give yourself regular breaks throughout the year, when you do eventually have a break, you get ill because your body just, like you say, it shuts down and it stops the immunity side. So it stops fighting off all these things that it's been trying so hard to push through. It just accepts that you're going to be ill. And then you don't get to have a nice break because you're dealing with an illness.
Exactly.
That's why I think it's so important.
It's so important. And also trying to de-stress yourself around Christmas as well, like the lead up. I know it's stressful. Like Christmas shopping, don't even get me started. Haven't started.
Finances, that's a lot.
Exactly, especially
the things that you want to go to, but they cost money.
Yeah.
And
food,
And it can also be a really hard time of year for people that have lost loved ones and stuff. And it's different for every single person.
Yeah. And I think it is just taking that. Sometimes it is just, as busy as it is, take a step back for you, do something for you and de-stress, because it will help you so much as well. And you will enjoy your Christmas more, and you won't then start associating Christmas with stress as well. And the whole December is being stressful, which then, you will just be healthier, better off.
And don't do what I've done every single December and jam pack your weekends with every single social event so that you're really run down by Christmas. Leave yourself some time to catch up, get your energy ready for Christmas, because Christmas is busy.
It's so busy. And yeah, and say, I get it, because I'm not gonna lie, I've jam packed every weekend, I've jam packed every weekday.
So
But even if it's 5 minutes, just sit in a corner and just let yourself be. Yeah, I was thinking that about. I'm not gonna say it. Just let yourself be. If you have to cry, there is nothing wrong with that.
No. But yes, I think we should wrap up there.
Yes.
But
I think
maybe if we end on a top tip from each of us for how to do Christmas.
Yes, you can go first.
Yeah, I'll let you have a little think. So I would say if you're going into Christmas this year and you're worrying about all the different social events and food, as I said earlier, remember, literally sit down, look at the amount of days that it is and the amount of actual meals out of those days that it is, and can compare it to the year, because that's going to help you feel a hell of a lot better about it and actually enjoy where you are, because we say it every time, but memories are way more important every single time.
Definitely. My top tip would be useful for people, both of you are still in a journey or currently doing journey, or if you wanting to start one around this time of year, because you can. There is no good time to start, so you might as well start whenever. Is even if you are struggling this time of year, focus on building habits.
Yes.
Because if you can build them during this time, come January, it will make it so much easier. So focus on getting your steps a little bit higher, drinking water, getting your sleep patterns sorted, fruit and veg, getting 4 or 5 pieces in, or just more than used to. Just focus on those tiny little habits, because each individual thing that you do, it's going to get bigger and bigger, and you won't notice it as often, especially because you're so busy. But come December 31st, you will have built them up so much those habits will be rigid in your memory, in your brain, same thing. And then come January, it will make it so much easier for you. And do not do anything drastic in January. Just slow and steady, continue the habits. And even if you are losing weight a little bit slower, it is going to be so much more sustainable than doing a massive cut for like 2 weeks at the start.
I think we'll do another episode on what to do in January, because I think that would be helpful. But yes, thank you everybody for listening. Thank you, Abbie, for your time again.
That's all right. Thank you.
And as always, if you enjoyed it, if you have questions, if you have topics you want us to discuss, things you struggle with, please send us a message. It is free. We don't bite. We're not scary. And we want to be your friends. So as you said, we're at Food Freedom with Bekka on Instagram. And we're on YouTube if you're listening to us. Or if you're watching us on YouTube, we're on Spotify.
But yes, hope you'll have a good rest of your week. Hope you enjoy the Christmas celebrations,
enjoy the social events.
Exactly. And yes, we will probably do another podcast on Christmas, because it is such a big exciting fun time of year. But yes, and remember your 3 positives for today too.
Yes, sit and write them down. It's important.
Exactly. But yes,
great. We will catch up with you on the next episode.
Bye.